What's up, guys? Back in the Verge Studios here for another episode of Pardon Our Promotion. Scot and Lindsey here with me. How are you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. What are you up to these days?
A little bit of everything,
Yeah.
right? Countdown to opening day. We're weeks away.
Yeah, so what kind of stuff are you working on right now?
Now's the time where we're ordering props. We're setting media day shot lists, finalizing those, making sure, kind of cross-checking everything, organizing content.
Yeah, so what does that look like? I had sorry to ask you a question and then start talking, but I had a client the other day, we won't name, but we were talking about media days and trying to get theirs scheduled, and we were kind of disagreed about how to list media day, how to go about scheduling it, and I'm just curious, how do you usually schedule your media days and kind of organize your shot list and things like that?
Yeah, so the first thing I do is get with the manager, the field manager, and make sure that I like to do mine all in one day.
Mm-hmm.
I have had a couple of clients that have, asked if they should do it in multiple days or do it all at once. I like to do it all at once. And then get with them, figure out a day, figure out the time. And then when I'm organizing it, I'm thinking about how the players are going to come in. So I like to organize it essentially on how I'm going to shoot it. So it's in chronological order of how it's going to be shot. So all player content. So when the guys come in, all of that's at the top. We just kind of go boom, boom, boom down the list. We want to make sure that we're getting them in and out as quickly as possible, but also, I guess, efficiently.
Yeah.
And
media days are important, right? Because you really only kind of get one shot at it.
Yeah.
We had I had someone last year, a team that unfortunately we messed up their media day, or their media day got messed up. And so we were trying to think through solutions on how to fix it, and it's not easy. You have to schedule small groups of guys to go back and reshoot. You gotta just be way more organized. So the more organized you can be with media day up front, I think the better. Make it run efficiently. It's going to potentially get all your content for the season right there. Media day is also a marketing opportunity. I feel like as a separate event. You can, have your marketing or social person come in while you're doing media day, so they can also do shots and post those and use it as some marketing material and marketing shots.
Yeah. Inviting the media. So
actual
what
media.
I would typically do is the first half of my media day would be internal media. So we would be getting all the content that we would need for in-game, social, marketing, any type of commercials that we were planning on producing. And then as the second half of the day, I would invite all of our media partners out, and after the players had done all that they needed to do for us, we had a specific time where everyone was just kind of lined up outside, like all the media, and they would just grab guys and just talk to them one-on-one. It was a good opportunity for them to get those one-on-one interviews, and then they would use it. I mean, we would have a really great turnout every time we did that. So.
Yeah, so we got media days. Those are coming up. A lot of the things that I'm doing right now are, the script, the game script in theory is pretty much done. I've got a lot of, individual games to script. But the run of show itself is done. Meeting with a lot of sponsorship and ticketing folks right now to kind of get an idea of what they've sold, what they haven't sold, and maybe things we can add. What else? What else are you got going on? Trying to think what else is a hot button issue for some of my teams right now.
I think a big thing that's happening, and it always happens every year around this time, is everyone's just kind of in this chaos panic mode. It's like the pressure's setting on them, and everyone just feels like there's just chaos around them. And so I feel like a lot of what I'm doing right now is kind of like calming everyone down, like take a breath, because if you're just in this constant go, 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 then you become disorganized, and then you forget little things that end up being big things. So that's been a really big thing. Like in every meeting that I've had with my teams, I'm like, what are you up to? How's it going? And then their answer is always just, oh my gosh, like it's, it's just that time of year. And I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about like what it is you're actually doing. What do you need to do? So that way we can, figure out a plan of action. And I think that's one big thing that happens every single year around this time.
Yeah, everyone kind of goes into chaos mode and running around like chickens with their head cut off.
Yeah.
When really you just need to it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen no matter what. So just you got to kind of prioritize, hopefully your script's done so that, your deadline events like Media Day and some of those others, that are live events are ready to go. Yeah. And then, then we come into, a lot of, obviously spring training's happening right now, but we got a lot of preseason games with our clients that are going to be happening. A lot of university games already started with spring ball. And so some of my clients have teams that are like, colleges and universities that are already playing at their facilities. So it's kind of nice in that it gets them a little bit, gives them a little primer or warm up to baseball again, and rather than just going right into it. So I like to encourage, obviously, those guys to, let's use those as training dates. So bring some staff in. So they can cut cameras, or we can do graphics, or we can just look at camera shots. Yeah. And everyone, video board operators, everyone can kind of figure it out in a less stressful environment because they're not the team, they're university games. So so we got media days, we got training, we got sponsorship, group sales, getting all that on board. What else are we doing? Anything else right now?
Scheduling run-throughs. I know a lot of teams are using these college games, high school games, whatever it may be, extra events as training days, but actually scheduling time for their full staff to come in, do a full dress rehearsal of the show, practice without a live audience, and then also using those exhibition games, using those college games as kind of a practice run of show.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, one of the things that we're nervous about right now, everyone's had their job fairs, or most people have had their job fairs, so we're looking at staffing too, along with, what we just talked about at training. Yeah, it happens every year, opening day happens. Have you ever slept at a stadium on the night before?
Yes.
You do?
Or, I guess it was less sleeping, but overnight at the stadium.
Is it the first time I ever experienced, and I've been producing games for a long, long time, never slept at a stadium opening night. Why?
So last season I technically wasn't there like until the next day, but I think I was there until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Do you guys actually work? Are you working on stuff, or are you just
Yeah.
a couple of kids hanging out at a slumber party?
Well, it was probably a little bit of both, right? Like, we were working, but I'm sure we also had a drink in our hand, just kind of one of those moments of like, it's happening tomorrow.
What are those last minute things that we're working on the night before that are causing us to be there?
For me, I want to make sure everything is 100% ready to go, and then I want to make sure it's 100% ready to go again.
Sure.
And I think I obsess over it a little bit, but it ends up working out, no matter what, it's going to happen. Like you said, no matter what happens, those gates are going to open, your fans are going to be in your ballpark, and they'll have a good time. I feel like every opening day that I've ever been a part of, on the back end internally, it was like, that was absolutely terrible. Mm-hmm. And then the fans are like, oh my gosh, that was amazing, because, we realize things that go wrong that fans never would ever.
All right, and opening day, you have new staff.
Yeah.
And, like we just talked about, you've trained them, but this is their first time operating for real. So you're going to miss stuff. There's going to be timing issues. I always tell my staff, especially on opening day, it's okay, don't put pressure on yourself. Just, worry about the things you can control, follow along on the script as much as possible, get those tendencies and habits down, and the rest will kind of come. Timing will come, things like that.
I feel like your staff doesn't really hit their stride until that second, third homestand of the season, because like you said, even if they're not new, to the position, like they're new as a crew, and
Right,
our
working together.
crew becomes one. So it takes a little bit of time to get in the rhythm and understand how everyone operates and be able to operate in sync. But I think it's okay if it takes a couple homestands. If it takes longer than that, then there's probably an issue in your control room. But
And that's why the trainings are so important, you know, not necessarily just for the knowing how to work the equipment, knowing what your responsibilities are, but for meeting your coworkers, meeting the people that are going to be helping you run this show and produce this show and create this awesome experience, right? So we have to work cohesively as a unit and have one vision and have one direction with good culture to be able to really effectively, transfer our vision or relay our vision to the fans and the audience. Otherwise, we're not going to work well together. So training and orientation is really important on that, because that's when we meet each other and figure out who we like and who we don't like.
Yeah. The more time spent together as a crew for sure helps, because there are so many moving parts that go into producing one show that looks like one person is running it all. So being able to all get on the same page in sync is
definitely. Yeah, so trainings, orientations, media day, meetings. I think I'm having homestand meetings coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Isn't that crazy?
Which is going to be fun. So
it's crazy. Feels like the last season just ended yesterday.
I know, right? It always goes fast. Well, if you guys have anything that you're working on right now and want to let us know that we didn't talk about or something that we missed, I'm sure that there's so many different things, as Lindsay said, so many moving parts. But be sure to share that. If you guys also have topics you want us to talk about or just chat about, let us know in the comments. But until next time, guys, it's all about your fans.